Thank you very much, Brad Luce. We'll put the microphone down to the official radio. We're under 15 seconds away until the 5-minute period for 1A.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark 5 minutes. Green flag.
5 minutes until the start of our Heat 1A, and here comes our first heat of racing in the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers Hydrofest, the race for the American Powerboat Association Gold Cup, the oldest active motorsports trophy in the world. First boat away from the dock is Jimmy King in the U3, the Rooster Tail. He's trying to kick over that Allison-powered turbocharged boat from Evansville, Indiana, and he's got it up and running. Jimmy King, our third fastest qualifier, is away from the dock. Right behind him comes Dustin Eccles in the 440 to Bucket List Racing. And we're waiting on Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street, but Jimmy couldn't come out because he was waiting for Jimmy King to clear. Jimmy King went right in front of him, and it took him a moment or two to get lit up. Once he did, then Jimmy was clear to go. So our top qualifier and defending Gold Cup champion, the U1, Miss Home Street, away from the dock. You got all three of them, Jeff. Dustin Eccles had a puff of smoke. He dropped down. But we are already 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. We got two of our three boats up and running, waiting for Dustin Eccles.
Jimmy King already down in turn number 1 here in the warm-up period in the dominant red U3, the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Jimmy Shane just in front of the Whittier right now in the Home Street blue and white Miss Home Street. And now Dustin Eccles pops the 440 bright orange Bucket List Racing up into a planing attitude. 3 set to go. All 3 are up and running. We're 3:15 away. Brad, this is where the communication takes place between driver and spotter. Also to warm the engines up, get everything to temperature, and now it's the cat and mouse. Where can you put your boat? Where can you get it in the right spot to get down this start-finish line buoy at 0 when the clock strikes 0 without jumping the gun?
Yeah, we were talking this morning about timing runs by a number of the drivers. Now they're going to use those timing runs. When they get to a particular spot on the race course, their radio man's going to tell them, A, when they can go, if they need to hurry up, if they need to slow down. They're doing that now. They will also communicate with them. You mentioned spotter. They will tell them where the other boats are on the race course. So what they'll tell Jimmy King is Jimmy King's going to cut the race course. On the GP course, he's going to cut front to back. That's a legal maneuver as Dustin Eccles rolls the 440 past the Yacht Club. Jimmy Shane still coming slow and coming up behind 2:15 till the start. Jimmy King in the U3, the Rooster Tail, Jeff. It's Heat 1A of the APBA Gold Cup.
We are coming up on the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes. 2 minutes away until Unlimited 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. Jimmy King is elected to go down in front of the Whittier in the U3 Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Following him back on the buoy. No, I'm sorry, that was Dustin Eccles. He's down there first. My apologies to the fans. Then it's Shane, and then Jimmy King. Brad, we're 1:30 away. They're starting to get in sequence down at the Belle Isle Bridge turn as we're now 1:25 until the start.
1:25 until the start. They will come around. The next time they come off the Rooster Tail and come down to you at start-finish line, we will be racing for the 2018 APBA Gold Cup, the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers Hydrofest. Coming up on 1 minute until the start. Now, as far as lane selection, whatever lane they are in when they reach the entrance pin to the Rooster Tail turn, that is the lane they must bring to the start-finish line. After that, the standard overlap rule of 7 boat lengths comes into play. You can't cut in front of another boat until you have 7 boat lengths, and the official always reminds them, make sure you got at least 9 or 10 so I don't have to make a call. Coming up the backstretch now, it is Dustin Eccles. He is the first boat coming up. Then we've got the Home Street. Looks like Jimmy Shane has got the Home Street in 1. Coming up behind the field is the all-red piston-powered. That's the U3 with Jimmy King. 25 seconds until our start. Now it is where those timing marks come into play. Eccles is going to go deep into the corner. 20 seconds to the start. Now watch for King and Shane. King's going to be in 2. Shane's going to be in 1. Eccles on the outside. Coming up on 10 seconds. Jeff Ayler, start our Gold Cup.
Here we go, Detroit. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, it appears to be a clean start. We're racing in Unlimited 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. Dustin Eccles got there first on the outside, but Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street takes the lead down the front straightaway. It's Shane in front, Jimmy King in second, Dustin Eccles in third. 3 Unlimiteds fly into the Belle Isle Bridge turn and getting there first in lane number 1, your leader, Jimmy Shane in Miss Home Street. Jimmy King second in the tail in the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Dustin Eccles trails it in Bucket List Racing. Brad, we're a half lap in. It's all Shane in Home Street.
It is Shane in the Home Street bank, halfway up the backstretch, getting a fine boat ride. We can't see Jimmy King, but he is right there on the outside. He's about 4 or 5 boat lengths back as they approach the Yacht Club. Now, the tightest turn in H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. Shane's got to pin it on the buoy row. What a corner. Here comes King. He's right with him. About 4 boat lengths, Jeff.
We'll come down to complete lap number 1. And Shane completes lap number 1 in front, make it a 6 boat length advantage over Jimmy King in second. In the turbocharged Allison Racer, the Rooster Tail, 60 years of parties. Dustin Eccles crosses, completes his first lap in third in Bucket List Racing. Shane is in front, but his right rear view mirror is filled up with Big Red. That's the Turbinator. Jimmy Shane, your leader, now making an 8 boat length advantage. As they work through turn number 1, Shane exits in front. Brad King is there. We're a lap and a half in, 2.5 to go in 1A.
Yeah, it looks like the distance between the two from here is about the same. When they come off the Belle Isle Bridge corner down there, we still can't see Jimmy King's boat, but we can see the Rooster Tail. And Lord knows we can hear that Allison on the outside in front of the Yacht Club. Lap number 2, Rooster Tail turn. It is Jimmy Shane, and here comes King, still flying in the piston power. Good racing here in Heat 1A, Jeff.
We're at the halfway mark of Unlimited 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. Jimmy Shane leads it in Miss Home Street. Make it now a 8 boat length advantage over Jimmy King and U3, the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Dustin Eccles remains in third. The start was good per Michelle. All 3 were legal at the line. Your top 2 entering turn number 1. Jimmy Shane still on that buoy row, but Jimmy King in the Turbinators, keeping the turbine in sight. Shane exits, now extends it out to 9 boat lengths, 2.5 in, 1.5 to go. Brad at the Home Street coughs. King could capitalize.
Miss Home Street, Jimmy Shane. He is your defending National High Point champion. He is your defending APBA Gold Cup champion. He's won this race 3 times. He knows what it takes, and what it takes is to start today with a victory in Heat 1A, and he's got about 3/4 of a Rooster Tail on King, and he's much tighter on the buoy row. Nice corner for Shane, but King won't go away, Jeff.
White flag is displayed. 1 more lap to go. 3 in the books, and Jimmy Shane now making a 12 boat lengths over Jimmy King in second in the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Dustin Eccles just in front of the Yacht Club. He'll come down to complete his 3rd lap in third. Your top 2 entering turn number 1 here in Unlimited 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. Jimmy Shane right at the apex of turn number 1. Now he extends it out, make it a 12 boat lengths over the Turbinator. Jimmy King and the Rooster Tail, 60 years of parties. 1/2 lap to go in Unlimited 1A. Home Street looks to get 400 points.
Well, that's what it's all about, race fans. If you haven't been here before, it's all about gathering points in the preliminary heat so you can be on the front row of the final. And Shane has now opened up water. Jimmy King has said, fine, you can have the 400 points for first. I'll take 300 valuable points for second place. Here comes Shane. Got to get through the Rooster Tail clean. He does. Bring home our winner of Heat 1A, Jeff.
And Jimmy King just took out a buoy. Jimmy King just hit a buoy and dislodged it. Your winner of Unlimited 1A is Jimmy Shane in Miss Home Street. Brad Luce, Jimmy King destroyed a marker up in turn number 2, nailed it. It flew up in the air. That will be a penalty.
Yeah,
that will vault Dustin Eccles up to second position in bucket laced. A tough break for the Turbinator here in 1A.
Now, Kelly Stockland up here has got to tell his driver, Dustin Eccles, where that buoy is, because it's sitting at about lane 2. Now watch Dustin. He'll go way wide because his radio man tells him what's going on up here. How about that? You don't only have to be fast, you got to finish, and you got to be clean. Dustin Eccles, second place, 300 points.
Boy, this is a big 300 for the bucket list, and Dustin Eccles gets them in the bucket list racing. And Brad, that final turn, final lap, I could see Jimmy King, when you were calling him in the Rooster Tail turn, was starting to creep to the inside wake of the home street. He got too far inside, nailed the buoy. She popped up in the air. It will have to be replaced.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they're going to give him a 1 minute penalty because he's coming very slowly up the backstretch, and I'm going to imagine there is some bruising on the hand of Jimmy King because he's got to be spanking it on the steering wheel for hitting that buoy. That was a 75-point mistake. Instead of getting 300 points, he will take third place and pick up instead 225. Jeff, I got to get out of here. I got to go grab Mr. Shane, who goes right by the buoy that is out of whack. He goes past that buoy, and he will come in. Right behind him is Jimmy King. I'm going to go down and get Jimmy Shane. Reminder to our fans in the grandstands, I'll have Jimmy at the stage right behind the grandstands by that white tent down there and by the beautiful Chevy cars. I'll have Jimmy Shane there momentarily, and then we'll bring him in front in the Corvette.
Thank you very much, Brad Luce. Once again, unofficially, Unlimited Heat 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. First place, Jimmy Shane. You won, Miss Home Street, 400 points. Second place, Dustin Eccles, Bucket List Racing, the 440, 300 points. Third place, U3, the Rooster Tail, 60 years of parties, Jimmy King driving, 225 points garnered in Unlimited 1A in memory of Charlie Strang. The turbine boats will go through tech inspection. Of course, the piston craft will not, but write them down in pencil. 1A, first, craft number 1, then 440, and boat number 3. Up next, Unlimited 1B in memory of Leonard C. Stand by.